In the time before the Titans, before the gods of Olympus, a great battle was waged.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my God of War Ascension Titan difficulty video walkthrough. This is the sewers, and the first thing I'm going to say here, folks, is the videos are not going to be chapter specific all the way through. I tried to make them specific to the chapters, but the web page that I used to document the names of each section of the game was not correct. There was a few missing, so instead of having all 30 chapters by the end, I only had 26. So instead of numbering them like the chapter numbers, I'm just going to name them, and they're going to be in order in the playlist. So I do apologise, guys. It's just a case of I've already spent the time editing. I don't want to go back in re-editing because it would just take too long. And, you know, naming conventions aside, it doesn't really help any other people being named 100% the way the game distributes it, as the only parts of this game I believe people will struggle on, perhaps a couple of the bosses and the Trial of the Archimedes. And I say this because this is the easiest God of War I have played. And that hopefully should give a lot of people confidence who are new to the series or just want that hard trophy. Because it really is quite simple. There are a couple of fights that are much worse on Titan than they were on hard difficulty, but for the most, this is a very simple game. If you've played any of the previous God of War titles on the hardest difficulties, you're in good hands. You're not going to struggle at all with this game. And that's obviously a good thing, because it's going to help you. And I do think it's an interesting choice, because they could have made it batshit crazy, because there is one section in the game where the difficulty spike is so noticeable that the reviewers are complaining about it. And while I agree it should have had a checkpoint after the first fight, I didn't really think it was what everybody made it out to be. And that's just the nature of games reviewers. These are people who do not have enough time to spend with a game to get competent at playing at it. So when they get to these sections with such a difficulty spike, you know, they're going to mention it, and especially one that is quite as brutal as this one, even though in the grand scheme of things, it ain't that bad. But that just there is a strategy I'm going to be implementing quite a lot. If you see a gap in a railing, pull an enemy towards you and throw them off it. It will kill them quicker than having to throw them a million times into people, and it'll make the fights just significantly shorter than they should be. And mentioning short things, that's my pointus. Now, some of the sections of this game are very quick. This one is a fine example. The last video was like 14 minutes long. This one is only 5 minutes long, because for some reason the chapters are up and down. It's very interesting the way that they've paced the game. And for anybody wondering about the length, this is the short, definitely a shorter campaign than the previous ones. That doesn't mean it's in lower quality, because I do think that the game is receiving some extremely unfair criticism commercially at this moment in time, and like the critics are just railing it. I don't get it. This fight right here, guys, once again we're just going to be chaining the throw. It keeps you safe. If you throw them off the edge, they'll die really quickly, and it's pretty damn simple. But every review I've read is criticising this game. Every single review I've read, and I don't understand it at all. There are problems with this game. There are glitches, there are scripting errors, there are a distinct lack of polish in certain areas that I can almost guarantee some of you will never experience, but because I'm an unlucky bastard, I hit every single one of them. I have had fights that did not reset and continue on, so I was eternally stuck in an arena with no enemies and no way to get to the next place. I have had game-breaking glitches where I repaired a bridge when you get the ability to restore, you know, time, and I repaired it fully and thus glitched the camera. I then went forward in the game, autosaved, and I autosaved in essentially a broken game, so I had to do the chapter select, which this game does allow you to use chapter select, which is fantastic, because if it didn't, I would have to play the entire game again. These are inexcusable problems with a title this big with this much budget behind it. There are moments when the enemies glitch out. There are moments when the cutscenes glitch out. You know, I've come across a whole host of different things that are technically unsound areas of an otherwise very professional package, but none of them detract away from the experience. You know, they only marginally irk you because it's something you're not used to in a God of War. And that is my only real criticism, aside from, you know, there are little tidbits which I'm going to divulge later on in the guide, but for the most, there is nothing wrong with this game, and the reviews are treating it like it's some old fucking workhorse donkey that's, you know, on its last legs and should really be shot through sheer clemency, and I don't get it. But thank you for watching anyway, guys. Hopefully you'll tune into some of the longer and more difficult missions, but you take care now.